Hi you guys, today it is time for an update for my seedlings, and also I have a lot of stuff that need to be moved to bigger containers. So let's do the seedling update first, and at the end, if you would like to hang out with me, I will be putting up everything that needs to be in bigger containers. Okay, so let me start with the nasturtiums, you guys. I started the nasturtiums on the 22nd of March. And this is all the growth that they have been putting. Look at that. They are absolutely gorgeous. Some of them are kind of slow getting there, but they're just doing amazing. And over here, I transplanted the pink alison. And over here, I have the rest of the alisons. I have, this is all purple alisons, you guys. It is really doing a lot better, and I feel like it's growing a little bit faster now that I have them in big containers or in bigger containers. It's just doing so great. And all of this alison was started about a month ago on the 5th of March. And back here, I did not show you this, but this whole tray is all lettuce and radishes. Oh goodness. Look at this lettuce butter crunch. The whole tray here was started on the 31st of March, so only a little bit over a week. And look at that. These are going to be ready to go outside here in a couple of days because they definitely are getting a little bit tall. It is just way too hot in here for them. They are cool crops, so they need to be outside. Look at the radishes, you guys. And over here, we have cannas that were started from seed. They were started on the 15th of March, and they are definitely ready to be potted up. Look at that, look at those beauties. I have thyme right here, and this guy is definitely to be potted up as well. And right here I have mint that was started on the 15th of March. Look at that, it's so tiny and so beautiful. And I should probably pot up my lisianthus as well. Over here, we have beautiful red spike Margaritas that was started on the 24th of March. Look at the foliage on that, you guys. That's just beautiful. This definitely needs to be potted up today. And over here, we have the Chinese wallflower, also started on the 24th of March. And right here, we have Craspedia that was started on the 5th of March. And I have nothing on my verbena yet. Verbena bonariensis, I think that's what it's called. I started on the 5th of March, about a month ago, so nothing there. And let me show you purple and regular basil. This is the Mamolo basil, and this is just the basil purple. They were both started on the 15th of March, and they will be potted up today. Isn't that gorgeous? They definitely need to be moved out. And right here, these three right here, you guys, are my second set of snapdragons that I started. Because I don't know if you remember, but the first set didn't do quite well for me. So these guys are definitely needing more space there. They're just fighting. I just know they're fighting for more space. So I will do that today. And the alisons right here, you guys, was started on the 5th of March, and it was potted up to these containers about a week or so ago. And I think that they're doing really, really well. And right next to it, we have lace flower, also started on the 5th of March and was transplanted here about the same time. Then the alisons, and look at that detail on the true leaves. Just beautiful. I have more lace flower back here. And right here on the side, we have Nicotiana that was started on the 15th of March. And I think that I have to thin it out, especially like these guys right here. I think I have like 5 plants in there. I will definitely do my best, but they're nice and flat. I think that that's how they grow. And back here I have more of the second set of snapdragons that I started, and like I said, they definitely need to be moved up today. And next, this right here is a corn cockle that was started on the 15th of March, and they had been transplanted here to their bigger containers. And they are liking it here, you guys. The plants just triple in size after I put them here. And I got more over here. And back here, I have some, these two are bunny tails that were started on the 15th of March and were transplanted there. And they're doing well there. And this little guy here by itself, it's my only milkweed so far that was started on the 15th of March. It was out of the 6 that I planted, I believe this is the only one that germinated, and it seems to be happy. And back here, the rest of the tray, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 containers, are all my straw flowers. The straw flowers were started on the 15th of March, and they were transplanted here. On a couple of them I have 2 plants because I didn't want to separate them, and I think they'll be fine. There's only one tiny little guy there that doesn't quite want to come through, but everything else, I have white straw flowers, mixed colors, some doubles. I'm excited for them. In this tray, I have more alisons. This is the white alisons, and it's just doing amazing, you guys. And now let me show you some of my tomatoes. I am not going to show you all of them because they basically look the same. The tomatoes were all started on the 4th of March, and they were transplanted here a couple of weeks later, and this is how they're doing. They are loving the heat in this room. They are loving the water that I have been giving them. I only fertilize them once, that one time that I show you in one of my past videos. I haven't done it again, so I'll probably do that sometime this weekend. They're doing really well, and I actually order some containers, some square bigger containers. I think they're 5 inches, 5 or 6 inches, and they'll be arriving this weekend, and hopefully I can pot these up here in the next week or so. This right here is also going to be pot up today. This is the gara that we started on the 10th of February. This is the only perennial that I am started from seed this year. And I have 6 beautiful plants, and I am thinking that I am going to be ordering more seeds, and I am going to start some in the summer so that I can plant them in the fall so they can be just gorgeous for next year. Look at that. See that color? Just beautiful. So I am thinking that my bells of Ireland are kind of stuck there. I don't know if that's what they do. They're so tiny. Do you guys have any experience with bells of Ireland? I mean, do they take this long? They had been here for a month, and I don't know, they just seem like not doing much. And I have peppers, you guys. Look at these guys here. These right here are my Hungarian, black Hungarian. All of the peppers were started on the 10th of February. Look at that. And actually I need to pinch these guys because I don't know if you can see that, but I haven't pinched them, and they're already having side shoots. So I just need to come here and cut this part so that I can stimulate them. But I just love the foliage. And I have both sweet and spicy peppers. If you want to know the exact details of every name, you can go and watch my past videos. Look at that. Whew. And these guys, these are the hyazine beans vines. These are annuals in my zone. And supposedly you need to start them about 6 weeks before your last frost, and that's basically what I did. But honestly, I think that because of how warm my space is and these plants loving the heat, I think that they just took off so fast. And I am going to have to pot them up again when I receive some of my tomato containers that I ordered. These are gonna have to go in there as well. They are huge, you guys, they're huge. They were started on the 24th of March. And they were potted up already into these containers because the roots were just taking over. And here we have the marigolds. Like I said, I have a bunch of things that are looking the same. Like my marigolds, I have a lot more than this, but I'm just going to show you how they're doing. They were started on the 15th of March in smaller containers, and they were transplanted here a couple of weeks later. And they're liking it here so far. And this is the apple seed that my daughter started, and she potted it up into a bigger container. I helped her with that. Look at that. It's doing very well. I'm excited for her. And look at the coleus, you guys. The coleus is loving it here. I feel like coleus is one of those things that germinates and then it just stays there for the longest time doing nothing, and then you're wondering what you're doing wrong. But then one day it just decides to grow and grow and grow. And honestly, I think that I haven't checked the roots, but I might have to pot them up here in the next week or so. But I think right now they're just doing fine. Look at the color on that. It's gorgeous. And the coleus was started on the 18th? Coleus was started on the 18th of February in smaller containers, and it was potted up here. And these right here are some of the snapdragons that I started in the first batch. And as you can see, they're really tall already, and some of them already have side shoots. So I need to pinch them as well, just like my peppers, so that I can help the plant just start more side branches. And the more side branches, the more flowers. So they are looking really, really well. They have a little bit of yellowish. Some of them have like a yellowish tone. Like I say, I only fertilize them once, and I am hoping that maybe they grow well. It's beautiful. And here's my lemongrass that was started on the 15th of February. It's looking good, you guys. And here is my eucalyptus. It's small, but it's growing slowly. We'll get there. I think what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put this in containers so that I can bring them inside for the winter, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I can overwinter it. And right here I have Dusty Miller, started on the 10th of February. This is the silver dust variety, and look at that. I don't know if you can pick it up from the camera, but it's starting to get that white coating. And it's just doing so beautiful. And these ones right here are the Scarlet Sage Salvias that were started on the 10th of February. They were started in small containers and they were potted up here. This right here is one of the 3 dills that I have growing. Actually, think I have 2 plants in there, but I cannot for the life of me get rid of it. So I'm just going to let these 2 be there together. With dill, they don't like to be messed with the roots. So I started them in big solo cups I started this on the 24th of March, and this is how much they've grown since then. And I also have some Amidara as well that was started on the 15th of March. I think I might have to fertilize these guys. They're looking a little yellowish. Okay, you guys, so we are done with the seedling update, and right now I'm basically ready to pot up everything that needs more room to grow. So what I'm going to do is I am not going to show you every single seedling that I have to be potted up. I'm just going to show you a couple. I mean, you know how to do it, but some of them, I'm going to show you the Cannas and the Basil so you can see how I do it, because those might be, I got a couple of questions from you asking about that. So those are the only ones that I'm going to show. And for the Cannas, I am going to use regular solo cups, nothing fancy. And what I'm going to make sure of is that they have drainage holes. You gotta make sure that you have drainage holes in them, because otherwise your water will just be sitting here and kill your beautiful seedlings. Okay, now that I have that done, I'm just going to use some regular potting mix. Don't ask me which one is my favorite. I basically buy whatever it's available at the store that has a good deal as far as pricing and that I like. Something organic, something, you know, that I know is not going to be something questionable, because these are just too precious and I have spent so much work in them that the last thing that I want is just to buy like a super cheap potting mix and then just, you know, just wondering why they're not doing well. So I got those here, and a lot of people ask me, how do you know when to pot up? Well, basically you'll know because your plants will just tell you that they need more room for the roots. Like, look at these cannas. See that? They definitely need more room. And basically what I'm going to do, you know how to do this, so I don't have to explain it to you. Make sure that you definitely use a bigger container. I could use something like this, but it's really not that much of space. So I'm just going to use this guy here. And I semi-wet the potting mix that I'm using, because I do not like to start with really dry potting mix. And that's just a personal preference. I know a lot of people do that or use that dry, and that's totally fine. You do what works for you. That's basically it. Now I'm going to make sure that I write here when I start them, just in case, but I'm going to do that for every single canna here. See that? There you go. And then right now I'm just going to continue doing all of this. So I got all of the cannas here ready to go. They're going to go into their own little containers. They're going to go into their own little flat, so that I can just water them from the bottom. They are doing really well. Cannas were something that were so easy for me last year that I just have to redo them again. And these are actually ones that I started from seeds that I saved from last year, from the cannas that I started last year from seed as well. So okay, so it is time to do basil this time. And some of you asked why I overseeded the basil the way that I did. This is just one way to do it, you guys. You don't have to do it this way, obviously. But let me show you what I do. Basically, if you haven't watched that video, go ahead and watch it. I started the basil in this smaller, like the 72 regular standard containers. And I just put a bunch of seeds, whatever, a pinch of seeds, whatever, however many they were. They're all here. As you can see, I got perfect germination. However, now they're starting to outgrow their little containers. And basically, this is what I have. And then you might be wondering, wow, this is going to be really hard to divide, you know, if you want just one plant. I have, let's see, I have 2, 4, I have about 15 plants here. And what I'm going to do basically is I'm just going to use a knife. Yes, this is the way that I did it last year, and it worked great. I'm just going to look, depending how many seeds you have here. If you only have like 6 plants here, I would just do half. But right here I got plenty, so that I'm going to basically just divide this in 3. Normally I would have a cutting board, but oh well. And that's it. I have 3 containers here, or I have 3 plants that will be ready for 3 different containers. This is too much. Okay. And still, over here I have 5 plants. So what might happen in the future, before I transplant this, or when I am ready to transplant these, is that I will divide those in half. Like right here I have 3 plants. I can actually just put this straight into the raised beds when these are ready to go outside. And that's what I did last year anyway. I had 3 or 4 plants in one little container that I started indoors, and that's what I took outside, and the plants just did just fine. So right here, from one little container, I basically have 3 plants now. So I'm just going to keep on going. And like these guys over here, I only have 3 plants there. So what I'm going to do is that I'm not even going to bother trying to divide like the roots. I'm just going to go here, and if I lose 1 or 2 plants because the way that I am dividing them, I can live with that. Now you will not see me doing this with tomatoes because I will save every single tomato plant that I can if I am able. There you go. So this is basically all the basil that I got from those 3 containers, you guys. I am really happy with everything. It's kind of messy the way that I do this, but it works, and I am sure that these plants will do just fine. That's it for today's video, you guys. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you learned something, maybe get inspired to do your own seed starting at home. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below, and until the next video.